Hello guys, it's Colorful Manga here, and today I'm going to be discussing my art materials with you guys and try to do this video as quickly and as painless as possible because I don't really use too many art materials, but explaining them all is kind of tiresome and it might be a little bit boring, so I'm going to try my absolute hardest to keep this going very quickly. I keep all my art materials in separate little baggies like these, so that I'm able to easily grab what I need and not have to carry around like a giant box or anything, because before I separated these like this, I used to have like a giant box full of just jumbled up art materials which I would have to dig in while I'm drawing, and that would waste a lot of time and it would be super frustrating. And I just feel like it's just a lot easier to have like little Ziploc bags, and I already had these lying around from when I was trying to do like beadwork, so I just figured I would use them for something anyways. So I feel like my most important art material is probably my fine liners, which is why I have, so many of them. I don't really need to have this many fine liners, but I'm addicted to them. I love looking at them and I love playing with them and experimenting. And my most favorite fine liner is probably my 0.3 size, and that's kind of like small but not too small, and then just big enough that you can use it to do most of your artwork with. And they come in different sizes. I bought an 8-pack when I was at Michael's, and it came with a cool pencil which I'll show you in a minute, and I use that for most of my drawings. And this is my pencil bag right here, which I also keep like glue or erasers and sharpeners inside of it. And I also keep lead and all that stuff in here. And as you can see, it doesn't really have that many things inside of it, and that's because I don't really care much for pencils. I feel like they're least important with drawing because you can use any kind of pencil to get any kind of sketch you need going, and I would never pay like more than $1 for a pencil. Honestly, I would not have bought this pencil in the first place if it didn't come with my fine liner set, but I'm pretty happy with it anyways. My camera does not have an autofocus, but hopefully you get kind of the idea. Lots of people like to use different pencils like 0.5 and 0.3, but I prefer to use just general 0.7 because you can pretty much do everything with it, and all my finer details I do with my fine liners. My second most important thing is probably my Copics, which I only have a couple of them. Well, I guess this is more than a couple. I can't count, but I think it's 9. And most of them, like the Chow markers, I got in a set, and I only buy skin color Copics. I don't use any other kind of Copics because I can just use my art markers for those, for the extra colorful things. And I have 3 Copic sketch markers in here. I had another one, but I have no clue where it went. And I don't typically buy separate ones. I don't buy ones, like singles. But I did because I needed these specific colors for a project I was working on, and I ended up liking it a lot. So yeah. And my Sharpies, which are also very important to me. They're not all Sharpies. Some of them are Bic markers, but the permanent markers. And I have 1 Prismacolor in here. I use these for my small drawings, like my chibis and what have you. And I love them because they're very pigmented and they blend very easily with each other. And I just like the vibrancy of the colors, and I'm all about vibrance, so they're pretty important. And lastly, if I'm not mistaken, oh, I got one more bag after this, are my colored pencils, which I use Verithin, as well as my Echo pencils, which I'll show you the difference between the two of them. If I can get it out of the dang bag. Here we go. My Verithin is right here. It doesn't have an autofocus, but you get the idea. These pencils are cool because they have hard leads, and they help you to get details and all that very easily. And then I use my Echo pencils for everything else because they lay down a lot of thick color, and it's easier to get bigger spaces with them. And they're my absolute favorite. I used to have like a box full of Crayola, but I started not using them, and then it ended up taking up a bunch of space, so then I just gave them away to a little kid who also liked to draw, because I know that Crayola is where a lot of us started, but I don't use Crayola anymore. And okay, this one. Lastly, my pens, and these are my favorite tool. Probably not too important, but just my favorite. And I've been coloring things with pens since I was a little kid because it's just easy, and it gets like a very vibrant and very sharp line when I use them, as opposed to colored pencil. And with colored pencil, I have to keep them very, very, very sharp to get a sharp line. With these, I always get a sharp line. And I use pretty much any pen you can find. My favorite though are these bold pens. Let me see if I can grab one of them in here. Oh, and red no less. Are these bold pens. You can get them for like $1. You can get a giant pack of them, and they come in assorted colors, and I use these most often, and I need to get some more very soon, but these are probably my favorite, and especially in this red color. I've gone through so many of these red pens that it is freaking crazy, because I just really love the color red. It's my favorite. And the difference between these pens and these pens is the fine line. These ones create a thinner line, and that's cool, but I like to have a bolder line so I can fill in more space more easily. So yeah, I thought that I would include my art markers as well. I got these at Barnes & Noble for $40, and that's a pretty good deal because you get 24 colors, which is really awesome. And these work almost exactly like Copic markers do, except they're more vibrant. You know, Copic markers are kind of softer, have a more dull color to it, but these ones, super vibrant. And the only downside is that they run out very easily, so you have to watch what you're using them on and all that. But I love them, and they do what I need them to do. I'm out of almost all the colors I use, so I'll have to buy a new set, and that's the only downside to these two, is you can't buy them in singles, and they don't come with refills. So if you run out of one color, you have to buy a whole new set, and that can be very costly later on. But I love them, and I will be buying some more soon. So yeah. I hope this video was helpful to you, or if you had any questions about any of the art materials that I used that I did not include in here, feel free to ask in the comments. I just wanted to do kind of a general video so you can get kind of an idea of the things that I use. And I tried to make this video as quickly as I could without jump cuts. So sorry if I'm talking too fast. See you later!